Holy crack. Okay. First off, my thoughts on the first Antman movie. It was fun, it was hilarious, the fight scenes were nice, it was basically Marvel's take on a heist movie, and it was enjoyable. If you haven't seen it, go see it. You'll definitely get a good kick out of it. It's basically Marvel's version of Ocean's 11. Okay, this movie, one, does not need to exist. And when I mean that, I mean, basically in the grand scheme of things, this isn't affecting the Infinity Stones, it's not affecting the cosmic universe, it's not affecting Thanos' grand plan, though that gets brought up later. And, I mean, if you want to be one of those purists who says this movie is not canon and it's filler, fine, you can say that all you want, but man, this is, and I am not joking here, the ending, and I am making this clear, the actual ending is quite literally the darkest ending to a Marvel movie I have seen, if you actually stop and think about it. I'll get into the spoiler section about that, but right now, that ending is lingering in the back of my mind, and that's gonna haunt me until it gets resolved. Oh man, so, the good with the movie. As always, Paul Rudd and the supporting cast, I'm not gonna list them all because, God, there's so many to list, do an amazing job. I will say Paul Rudd is trying too hard to be Ryan Reynolds in Deadpool, especially with the jokes. He's not breaking the fourth wall, but the constant rambling and repetition and just trying to throw people off with it gets a little jarring, but you roll with the punches. It kind of takes away from some of the somber and more serious moments that this movie has. And there are some, there's a few, especially, you know, anyone who's lost a loved one or has a possible chance of trying to help them out in any way, shape, or form, you know, usually through operations and whatnot. You can kind of get a feel for this. But, oh boy. People have had issues. They've told me about Black Panther, and I can understand some of that. I still stand by Killmonger as one of the better villains they've had for a while, because he ain't just bland one note, like him or hate him. Thanos, best villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I'm sorry. Loki's number 2. Thanos still wins. Yeah, there's none of those in this. Easily, the worst villains I have seen in any Marvel film. Because you got one villain who's basically black market thug tycoon. He's basically there for our heroes to beat the crud out of, because there's 2 other parties involved besides our heroes. There's the FBI, who's constantly monitoring Hank Pym, him too, but Scott Lang, because literally he broke the law, and the only reason he's allowed to be out of jail is to be under house arrest and constantly monitored. So this FBI guy, who's just doing his job, I'm sorry when I say this, he is doing his job. Hank Pym broke the law with the technology. Scott Lang broke the law using that technology to go fight in Germany. So Scott Lang is under house arrest, and Hank Pym is a wanted criminal. This guy's just doing his job. It's not like he's going, yes, let's use their family members as leverage. Mwah. No, he's just doing his freaking job. Unlike, I guess you could say, the anti-hero team of Ghost and someone else, who I really didn't think they were going this way, but it kind of goes this way, and it makes sense. And as a comic book fan, I was happy to see this character again, especially what happened to him in Civil War. Yeah. Anybody wants to tell me Civil War was a good comic? Yeah. No. And if people have issues with Civil War, the movie, like I do myself for personal reasons, objectively it's completely good. But in the comic, they proceed to kill a pretty cool character, I'm not gonna lie. Also in that same comic, Captain America beats the crud out of Cassie. Yeah, he beats the crud out of Scott Lang's daughter because she's not American enough. That's a rant for another day. I don't do comics, thankfully. I leave that to other people, like Atop the Fourth Wall. Hashtag plug. So, now that tidbit's back, the actual movie itself. Is it enjoyable? Yeah. Is it worth the price of admission? Kinda, yeah. They do a lot of things with the visuals that really are eye-popping, and the 3D, I would actually kind of want to see this movie in 3D, just because Oh man, the quantum realm. So you see it a little bit in Antman, which, you know, it's nice. You see him going through the phases and basically he falls into the void. But when you see it, it's mesmerizing. It's eye-popping, and it, not gonna lie, kind of hurts the eyes a little bit when you stare at it for too long, but you roll with it. And Hank going into it to find his lover? Well, wife. It's actually heartwarming to see them get reconnected again after all this time. Almost like this was a sequel that was set up for a long time ago, and we finally got to see these two reunited. And I give Michelle Pfeiffer this. For what little time she's on screen, she does an amazing job. Ain't gonna lie. And then, before I get into the spoiler section for why I consider this one of the darkest endings to a movie, and when I mean darkest, you don't leave. Listen to me. Do not leave after the credits. Well, before the credits. You know what I mean. When you think the movie's over, stick around for the mid-credit scene. The post-credit, it kind of just for the stinger at the end, because, man, that stinger. But you need to see that mid-credit scene. Because if you have even an iota of brain cells and or can comprehend what the heck's going on, there was a lot of implication here that makes this, quite frankly, horrifying. This is, without a doubt, the first Marvel movie to legitimately end on a constant dark note. And I know Infinity War, they kind of ended with a dark note because, yeah, that Peter scene still gets me. But it at least ends with a bit of hope, a la summoning Captain Marvel. Which, you know, was kind of cool, I'm not going to lie. But this one, there is none of that. This is some dark stuff. And without future movies and what they're planning on doing, this can be very disgusting. Okay, final thoughts before I get into that spoiler section. Go see this movie. I really think 3D would possibly make this a bit better. It's still fun and enjoyable. Fun for the whole family. Not really that bad, except, well, quite frankly, the ending, most of the kids aren't really going to understand unless they've seen Infinity War, and then, you know, they probably won't be able to comprehend it. It's not like Bambi's mom here, but, you know, it's pretty bad, but it's still good because of how bad it is. Michael Pena, you're officially released from that really bad role you had in the MLP movie. I forgive you, because when you actually try to be funny, you can be funny. Okay, spoiler time here. Holy crud! So, I knew they were going to kill people off with the whole Thanos snap deal. You know, snap the gone. I assumed there was going to be Cassie, Scott's daughter, you know. But I was, and you know, I even thought maybe it might be Hank and, you know, Hope. But no, so, to set up, everyone says today, hooray, hooray, yay. He's with his family. They're reunited after all of this. He's got the woman of his dreams. The dad kind of likes him to some regard. He's not trying to kill him. They save the girl's life. Everything's good. They go into the quantum realm to get her some medicine so she can stay alive. Because without this medicine, she will fade into nothing from her molecular destruction and will die. Heavily hinted. Maybe not the case. We don't know how fast it could be. But she might die. So, you know, Scott goes into the quantum realm. His team's got the, you know, because he needs to be reeled back. He needs a signal, so the team has to hit the button to pull him back. Every member dies. They all vanish. But not Scott. Scott is stuck in the quantum realm, where time and space mean nothing. So, for those of you who don't understand why I consider this the darkest, think about it this way. He finally gets the happy ending. And then it's ripped away from him at the last second. With no hope. No one else knows where he is. No one else has access to try to save him. No one is coming for him. And if that Thanos thing doesn't get retconned, or reversed, basically, which might happen, he will be trapped in there for all eternity. And that is a dark, disgusting way to go. Trapped in an endless void, not knowing what's going on, not being able to reach out and see the world around you, just infinity. It's a concept that's quite scary. There's a reason why they have deprivation that's what they call deprivation chambers for the astronauts, so they can get used to the cold vacuums of space. Because it does stuff to the mind. And it ain't good. But not just him. Besides them all being dead, the Pims being dead, the ghost, Eva, she's gonna die. Like, without that medicine, it's heavily implied that she will probably die from molecular destabilization again, which he said was a never-ending pain. The heroes lose. Like, there is no winning. And at the end scene, after the whole comedy, ha 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 ha, the ants playing the drums that you see in the trailer, they normally end with such and such will return. You know, like Thanos will return, Spider-Man will return, Black Panther will return. Yeah, it doesn't say that for Antman and Wasp. There's a question mark at the end. And considering Marvel is considering doing a time skip, and how they heavily hinted that Cassie Lang is going to become a superhero, like she does in the comics, and she's basically just a brawler style, if I remember correctly, but she's still good. It's been a while since I've read those comics. But it's entirely possible that they might not get reversed. Scott could be trapped in there for a long time and not see his family. After finding and fighting so hard to get to where he is. He's trapped in an endless void, not knowing what's going on. And the fear of the unknown is far worse than what you know. Sorry, but that's a little meta for me. That's why I consider this the darkest of all Marvel movie endings. Yeah. So, I'm curious to see where this is going. If memory serves, the next one would be Captain Marvel, and then they're going to do the... what am I blanking on? Then they're going to do the next Avengers movie. Yeah, because the next Avengers movie comes out next year, I believe. So, it's going to be interesting. I hope they fix this, and I hope with every fiber of my being they show a scene where he gets saved, because otherwise, oh boy, especially considering that all these movies are supposed to be taking place in continuity time with our universe, meaning a year here is a year in there. So, yeah, that could end very badly. But who knows? Maybe they're all in happily ever after, and I'll look back on this and say, man, I worried for nothing. But in comics, it doesn't always work that way. When Barry Allen died, he was dead for dang near 20-some years. When Jason Todd died, it was the same. Heroes come and go. Sad. Well, they used to. Nowadays, everyone dies every other week and gets brought back. Kind of sad, but, man, what are you going to do? So, sorry guys, the reason why I got 2 this week, I'm going to be out of town next week, so I won't be able to review Hotel Transylvania 3. I know you're all heartbroken, even though those are surprisingly decent movies. So when I come back, I'll review that and whatever else is out that week. Should be good. You got some good movies to leave you behind. Like I said, this one's a good one. Fun for the whole family. Definitely should go see it. Anyway, guys, as always, I'm Kevin Riley signing off, and I'll see you all next time. Later.